Hello and welcome to the September edition of Freedom Friday. I am Sarita Price, your coach who is skilling you softly to live and lead with confidence and boldness. So I am so excited about you guys being here. And as always, we I'm doing a live. I don't have a guest this month, but you can best believe next month I will have a special guest um, to come on. So let's go ahead and get started. So this topic this week, with this month, that is kind of personal for me. So many times we try so hard, especially if you're an entrepreneur. Um, or just in life in general. We try so hard to achieve goals. We set goals. We try to do a lot of things, but and sometimes we try too hard. So, like I said, this is kind of one of those topics I want to talk about this month. And so let me before I get started, let me get a disclaimer. Hopefully, um, you won't hear my neighbors upstairs. I don't know what they're doing, but anyway, hopefully you won't hear a lot of noise. I'll throw some music on if necessary, but truly, really and truly, I try not to be on here any longer than 30 minutes. But nevertheless, we're gonna go ahead and get started. So why did I choose this topic? Why is it that um we need to stop trying so hard? And there's a lot of different components to this topic. And I normally try not to have slides, but hey, it's just the educator, the teacher in me. So yeah, I have one slide that we're going to take a look at some key points. Let me remove this off here so you can see the full and see the entire slide. So these are just some of the lessons I've learned and some of the lessons that I am currently learning. um you know Being an entrepreneur, and I know some of the people, the guests that I have on here are not necessarily entrepreneurs, but this applies basically whether you're an entrepreneur or if you just everyday life, you may have, just be at work or ministry or what have you. So pretty much the points that I'm going to talk about tonight, you're going to find yourself in some of these. And one thing I am learning as an entrepreneur is that you have to flow authentically, and that's kind of one of the first points that I want to talk about. It can be frustrating, especially if you utilize social media, because right now it's almost a must. You must use social media, especially if you're a business owner, to get advertising, marketing, whatever your brand is, to get people to see your brand and what you're doing. But one thing I have learned along the way, and just even in my personal life, what have you, you have to be yourself. And when I say this, everybody pretty much have heard of Tabitha Brown. And she just started off doing IG lives with her cooking because she's a vegan. And then one thing, and she's just herself. People like to see that you are yourself. They like to see the authenticity. Because if you're not yourself, you're trying to be someone else, um, people can tell. So really, you need to learn how to flow, be authentic when you are have a business or whatever it is, ministry. Be yourself, be authentic, because people know fake. And some of the things that I have gone, and plus let me just say this, especially if you're a business owner, it is a you're constantly evolving. So that's why when I teach, if you don't know, and I have the information on here, I teach I have a webinar that I conduct for SCORE every quarter. at least once, once, 2 or 3 times a year. It may not be every quarter, but, and I talk about your persona. Who is your audience? And when I began my journey as an entrepreneur, I thought my audience was one particular age group, one particular gender. And actually, when I viewed the insights, because on social media, there is stat data that you can actually obtain that it collects the data for you. And what I thought was my audience really wasn't. It was another age group, and basically, pretty much is women. So you have to learn how to flow. You have to learn how to be authentic, be your authentic self. Because when you are your authentic self, it's you're ease, you just flow, and people can tell. um my IG account, Instagram account, I started really posting some things that came from the heart, because what comes from the heart goes to the heart. So I start posting some things, and while I'm talking to you, I'm trying to make sure that I am actually streaming live on my page. So yes, okay, it's actually there. And so I start posting some things that came from the heart, and realize I start getting more response when I things that I posted that came from the heart goes to the heart. Just something simple, sharing my daily meditation, or some of the things or thoughts that I would a download that I would get after reading and having my meditation. I will post it because I am a life coach, and some of the lessons I've learned along the way, I will post certain things and be transparent. And the actual results was, wow, Sarita, that really helped me. But in the beginning, it was frustrating. It's like, well, I'm posting this stuff. Why I'm not getting any feedback? Well, first and foremost, you shouldn't be too concerned about the likes. I caught myself getting caught up in what they call that. You can easily um, get caught up in the likes and the comments, and that's not really what's important. But what I've learned and along the way is, when I post things that are from the heart, that are authentic, that just flow naturally from me, I got more response than things I thought people wanted to see. And that's where you try too hard, and you're not reaching the audience that you should be reaching, because you're thinking one thing and that's not what they want. Okay, so that's very important. um it's not working because, like I said, you're trying too hard. Go and ease and flow, be your authentic self. And I'm looking at my notes here to make sure um that I am getting the points across. The next point, I talked about, you're fighting frustration. But once you find out who your audience is, that goes a long way to making sure that you are reaching the people who need what you have. Okay. So this leads to me to my third point. Stop trying so hard to be seen. Are you trying to be seen? Um, it's not about, and I know, like I said, we fight in this social media persona, and we can get so caught up, because, to be all honesty, social media can be addictive. Especially, I'm at the age and stage of my life, I know how to decide, tell the difference between what is real and what is not. I don't base my a lot of things on what goes on in social media. I don't. Now, I've looked at some of the insights, some of the data, but people's liking and comments, I don't necessarily, focus on that. But one thing that I do try to do is when someone responds to a post or to something, to a post or a reel or what have you, I try to actually engage with them. Thank you, give some more insight. And then sometimes it comes up and it actually ends up being a dialogue. And it may end up in that way. But see, that came organically. Came, from trying to help people. So yes, stop trying to be seen. And I know that's a lot especially the younger generation, they're not going to really get that. But when you go and ease and flow in who you are, and it comes from the heart, and people are grasping it, and this is, you're getting messages that is changing their lives, you will be seen. You will. But that leads me to the next point. Is it really your time? Sometimes it's not. There's a time and a place for everything. Just because you post some things and you may be popular or on one segment, there may be a time where nothing. You may not get a response to certain things, but just know when your time comes, it will come. I stopped thinking about that. I stopped, trying to be seen. I stopped like, well, why is this not working? I've had a conversation with one of my friends, and to see why is I'm doing all these things. Why is this not working? We talked about it. And it's just someone sees it, maybe not all. You have to deal with something called the algorithm as well. But at the end of the day, it's not about being seen, because what you have, someone needs it. The right people would see it. So don't base your business, your ministry, whatever it is, on that trying to be seen and try to be heard. It's not going to work well for you. And that leads me to the next point. Is your why clear? Maybe your message is confusing. I teach entrepreneurship and innovation. I'm an adjunct professor, as many of you know, and I teach this class, entrepreneurship and innovation. And one of the things, the first thing that in the beginning of class, we talk about forming a hypothesis. And you would think, what does that have to do with entrepreneurship? Let me tell you exactly what it has to do with entrepreneurship. When you're dealing with entrepreneurship, you are actually forming a solution to someone's problem. That many don't realize this, and I thought I placed this on here. I guess it got lost. But many don't realize the real purpose of entrepreneurship. What is your mission? What is your vision? Your mission is, how you're going to get there. Your vision is, what do you see? What do you expect as a result? This is what you want to see. So that is one thing you have to get clear. Like I said, when you're in entrepreneurship, I'm constantly evolving in my business. I'm looking at it, because if something's not working, it's time to change it. And that's exactly what I did on my IG page. I had, as an entrepreneur, then I had my category as a content creator. And I'm like, Sarita, okay, so you are a life and leadership coach. That was my main focus. But I mean, kind of like all over the place. But when I finally changed, my profile, and I start posting things from a life perspective, as a life coach, as a leadership coach, I didn't even look at the number of followers I had. I just overnight, I looked up, had gained within this year, I have gained over 250 to almost 300 new followers. And I had no idea, because I stopped trying so hard. I just started flowing, being authentic, and posting material from my experiences that I know that will help and bless someone else. So you have to be clear on your mission and vision, even in ministry. People don't realize this. Everybody has, God has given everybody different gifts, talents, and abilities. Now, some of us it may be very similar to each other, but everybody's different. So you have to remember that. Um, the real cannot be hidden. If you are authentic and you are real and with your gifts, I'm telling you, it can't be hidden. It's going to come to the forefront. So when you are yourself, and when I say being yourself, I don't mean just, you still have to plan, you still have to get clarity, you still have to have some organization and some structure. But when it comes flow naturally, hey, there, you don't have to worry about trying to be seen, because it will come out, because people will notice that you are authentic. They'll notice that what you have is what they need. Remember, I stated entrepreneurship is all about finding a solution to someone's problem. That's the purpose of your business. Whether you have a restaurant or a coaching business, or if you're a content creator, or whatever you are, you each everybody has their own unique identity, how they do something. You may have two restaurants have the same type foods, but one restaurant may more, even though their food may be good, restaurant B food may be better, but restaurant A, they have the best customer service. They're known for their friendly faces and the customer service they give. So that sets them apart from the same restaurant that they serve the same type of foods. So, you have to um, be your authentic self, because each one of us has a creative state, and we are creative, right? So you have to just be yourself. um and I also added, I didn't have on here, real glory can't be hidden. If you just think about people, like I said, I always mention Tabitha Brown and some of the other people who just being their authentic self, and some of the things, at the end of each, when she goes live, her saying, that is Tabitha Brown. Your personal branding, I call it. Just like I use skilling you softly. I've been doing this long enough to know everybody know I'm a soft skill expert. Skilling you softly, when you see that, you think of me. And you think of the song by the Fugees, Killing Me Softly. So I did that because that's a part of who I am. And it comes natural, right? So what I've learned along the way is just to be my authentic self. That's when people really start to recognize your authenticity in you, and they want to know more about you. They want to know what is, when you hear skilling me softly, right? They want to know more about soft skills. It's catchy, and it's just a part of who I am. I can recite my mission and vision in my head when someone asks me, because it's part of who I am. It's embedded in me. So, being clear on who you are, being clear on what are you trying to do, why you're trying to do it. Now, don't get me wrong, we go into entrepreneurship, to make money, but that's not the real solution. The real purpose is finding a solution to someone's problem. And I'll continue to say that, and all night. Um, Another thing too, you must realize, you got to stay in your lane. Everything is not for everybody, right? Um, you're not called to certain areas. Now, true enough, I know people that are multifaceted. They have so many gifts. I'm one of those people. that I have a lot of gifts and talents and abilities. Um, but I know one area that is not. Now I know a little, just enough to for my business, but financing, finding financing, financial, that is not my area. So I don't even go in that lane. I have people who I hire or consult with concerning finances because that's not me. I'm not trying to make that part of my portfolio or my business because I don't know any much about finance. I know, like I said, just enough to, for my business purposes until I get to the point where I can really hire a financial firm or what have you for that. And I'm going to get there. I'm claiming that. But I learned how to stay in my lane with certain things. That's not part of who I am and what I do. Um, Everything is not for you. I stated that. Find your flow and get in it. You have to get into your flow, what you do. The next point is I want to talk to my women. I need you guys to stop trying to walk in this masculine energy. Let me explain when I say that. True enough, you were made in God's image, as well, and that's the feminine side of God, right? But you need to walk in your feminine power. Reason I say that is I've seen, I always say I don't work hard, I work smart. And by nature, I'm just a strategist. I don't believe in working hard. I work smart. But sometimes I've seen it in corporate America and in my career, a lot of women, they just go so hard. Just pound, pound, pound. You get stressed out. You're trying to take on all of this so you can make it in corporate America because there's that glass ceiling, right? And um learn to appreciate your femininity and grasp how you do things, because what I have learned along the way, because I don't work hard, I work smart. Some of the same things that all those hours of work and those long hours and the stress, well, when I really learned my authentic self and I start strategizing what would somebody work hard pounding over, it's done within a day. I mean, it's just that simple. So, learn to be okay with you. Um, I know some may disagree with but that's okay. That this is my platform, and this is what I've learned. This is what I've seen in other women, um, and I've helped coach them as well. Hopefully, you can't hear all that noise. Jesus, okay. But anyway, another point: you're trying to fit in, but why? But why work so hard to be a counterfeit when God designed you an original masterpiece? I have one of those. That's one of my famous memes. Why are you trying so hard to be a counterfeit? You're trying to take after someone else to do what someone else do when you're not being your authentic self, right? So, as I've always stated, God has made us all different. We may have similarities. It may look the same, almost identical, but it's not. There is enough business for everyone. There is enough clients for everyone. You have to be your authentic self. I'm taking, like I said, I teach a social media class, and I talk, a webinar, I mean, and for a couple of organizations. And one thing I'll kind of go back to when I was talking about social media. You um it doesn't do well for you to try to be someone else. It doesn't work. You can pretty much see someone, and don't get me wrong, I have mentors, I have, coaches, and people I know that I have a lot of respect for. I love their persona, I love everything. But one thing I had to learn, I am not them. They don't want me to be like them. What a boring world it would be if everybody was alike, right? So, be yourself. Just in general, be yourself. Another thing, your gifts are not for you. Your gifts are for other people. There's a scripture, I think it's Proverbs 18:16. It says, a man's gift maketh room for him and bringing him before great men. Those gifts are to be a blessing to someone else. We can't get so caught up in self, that we forget the purpose of what we're doing, because at the end of the day, it's not about us. It's not about you. Okay. You are not called to certain areas. Like I just said, everything is not for you. You got to find your flow and get in it. You're trying to fit in. We try so hard to fit into cliques and different organizations and different things. And it's not for us, but yet because of, you want to be a part of something. Everybody wants to be a part of something. That's just human nature. But if it's not a part of who you are, why would you try to fit into something that is not, it's not who you are? Maybe it's just the stage I am in my life. I stopped doing that, really a few years ago, because I know my tribe, the type of women or the type of people that I like to hang around. I like to hang around positive people, other people with a similar mindset, going in alignment, going in the same direction. It's hard for me to stay around people that are negative. As a matter of fact, I can only take so much. I'll give you an hour or two and then I'm out, because I can't take all that in, all that negativity. And you have to learn to be okay with that. I also posted something earlier today where I talked about, let me find this post. I actually posted it on Facebook, where I talked about, let me find it here. It was actually that this is, I posted one of my pictures where I went to DC in front of Dr. King, Martin Luther King monument. And one thing I've learned, I stated, we have to realize that everyone is not going to agree with you. You have to realize that. You stop trying so hard to be liked. Good segue into this. Stop trying so hard to be liked, because everyone's not going to agree with you. Everybody's not going to like you. And you must learn to be okay with that. People normally like that. You're a people pleaser. I am the first to raise my hand. I used to be such a people pleaser. And it was okay because I was pleasing people, but it was bothering me because I didn't agree. Or sometimes, you don't say things and you see that things are out of order, but you forsake, causing what people call confusion just to keep the peace. No, it's not confusion. Sometimes things need to be said. And they need to be said, and it's not how you say it. It's not what you say, it's how you say it sometimes. So you got to learn to be okay with that. You got to keep moving to fulfill your destiny. And I said Dr. King, Martin Luther King Jr. was well aware that people didn't like him, but he kept moving on in the civil rights movement. And the ultimate being who knew people didn't like him, who disrupted, was Jesus Christ. He was the ultimate disruptor. The Pharisees, the religious leaders, and the people in general, they didn't like Jesus. Didn't like him at all. Because he was a disruptor, as I stated. He was against the status quo. He knew he had a destiny to fulfill. He even talked about I think it was John 14, about greater works that we must do. So, my question I left, are you going to be a people pleaser? Are you going to fulfill your destiny and your purpose? Period. So, stop trying so hard to be fake. and to be seen and to be a counterfeit. Learn to embrace who you are and um, learn to be who you are, embrace who you are, and get on that in the flow of doing what you were designed to do. Now, with that said, if you have no idea, if you struggle with trying to figure out, okay, what am I supposed to do? What is my purpose? That's something I can help you with, because one of the gifts that God has given me and one of the talents as part of my business, my portfolio, is helping people get in that flow of finding out who they are and what they are supposed to be doing. I actually posted, um, let me find, I'm always creating content and I'm posting it on my page. And one of the things as a coach that my goal is to help you successfully create a life that brings you nothing but joy and peace of mind. Let me tell you, once I left, and many of you have heard me say this, once I left corporate America in 2020, I haven't looked back, because it is a wonderful feeling to be able to do what I love to do, to work, and it doesn't feel like work. I have successfully created a life that I love, that is filled with joy and a peace of mind. Every day I get up, I have a peace of mind. I'm not enslaved to a job that I hate. I have not created a lifestyle that I have to have a certain job in order to maintain that lifestyle. Many times we have to work these jobs because we have a lifestyle that we want to have to maintain, but yet you're going to work miserable every day. That's not how you're supposed to live. So if you're having issues with that and you don't know, you don't have that life, you haven't created that life or have that life where it brings you joy and peace of mind, reach out to me. That's what I do. I help you find it. And that doesn't happen overnight. It's a process. I can actually help you, coach you through that, that journey of finding out, having that life that you love. Uh, Not only just professionally, but as well as personally as well. I'm a board certified life and leadership coach, and career coach. So I can help you with all that. Okay. All right. So it's been a little over 30 minutes, but I really hope, guys, I have said something that really have you thinking that you need to stop trying so hard. Just be yourself. I'm a witness. When you flow authentically and stop trying to be someone else, or you're so busy focusing on social media, people likes and their followers, I don't get caught up in that anymore. Once I stopped doing that, I promise you, it's just like I looked up one day, I was like, wow, I wasn't even paying attention to how many followers I had on IG or even LinkedIn, because a lot of my business, a lot of my business and posts, I do more on LinkedIn than I do on IG. But you had, just in general, just not even talking about social media, just stop trying so hard and just go and ease and flow and be yourself. Okay. All right. So this is Meet Me in the Marketplace. This is what I was talking about earlier. Starting next week, I am facilitating a webinar for SCORE. It's absolutely free. Just go to, just Google SCORE Memphis and you can register for these webinars. Next Tuesday, I'll actually be conducting a webinar on Facebook and Instagram. This is how to make social media work for your business. I give you a lot of good tips on how to do that, so you don't want to miss that. And then the couple of weeks after that, I'll be conducting a webinar on LinkedIn and Twitter, how to make LinkedIn and Twitter work for your business as well, on the 19th. One that I didn't have on here, I need to make a posting for that. At the end of the month, I actually will be conducting another webinar for SCORE on how to make TikTok work for your business. So that's the one that a lot of people enjoy. And I'll tell you my story about that later. Okay. All right, guys. So let's keep in touch. Here's my information, my email address, all things Sarita. You can actually go to my website. Pretty much everything you need, you want to know about me. You can connect to all my social media platforms on my website. Actually, I have some people probably, you can actually connect to my website to see my lives. Like this one is on my YouTube channel. So I'm streaming live from Facebook. I have 2 Facebook pages, as well as I'm streaming live on my YouTube channel as well. So you can pretty much go to my website and find out everything. This is my mailing address as well. So you can connect with me. More than likely, I'm working on a webinar, and I'll give you more information probably in the October Freedom Friday, or I post it on social media as well. A webinar that's coming in October. You don't want to miss it. It's going to be great, especially if you're 50 plus. So you want to stay tuned in for that as well. Okay. All right. So thank you guys for your support. Thank you for listening. If you know, after listening to this, if you know someone that needs this, please forward this live to someone that'll help them out. And like I say, I am here to help. That's what I found my flow is to help people create a life that's full of joy, and you have a peace of mind. So, all right. So have a great weekend. Have a great Labor Day weekend. It's a holiday coming up Monday. Everybody be safe. And as always, protect your peace. So when needed, your peace can protect you. Have a good evening. Bye-bye.